commitment and body of work deserves to be recognized, and it deserves to be recognized accurately. That is disgusting what they just did to him. And anybody would have been wise to predict that was going to happen to him. There was no chance that boxing was going to allow him to come in and get that win if it went to a decision. One of the things that was most disappointing for me was that Tyson Fury didn't call that out. Tyson Fury is notoriously a straight guy. Now, he's also never been in this position before. There's never been anybody that beat him up, that won the fight and lost the decision. He's never been put in that spot. His character has never been tested in that specific level, and he's a competitor. And I'm just sharing for you, I thought that he might say and just come out and correct it. I'm not positive that I would judge Tyson Fury and his character for not doing that. I think he's a very straight guy. I mean, let me just take you back 2 weeks ago. Tyson and Tyson's father said openly into the press they would have had no qualms. That is a quote, not a word I use because I'm a cool guy, but I'll quote them. They would have had no qualms had KSI been given the victory over little brother Will Fury. So I bring that to you just in regards to I think they would have been straight. Listen, I'm not sure Tyson had his wits about him in that interview. You know, he was humbled. That was clear, but I'm not positive that he has a full recollection of what was going on. And I say that for one, maybe to cover for Tyson, but two, to also tell any of you that didn't see the fight a lot about what happened in the fight. Francis knocked the hell out of him. I mean, this is a heartbreaking thing for me. And not because of whatever weirdness I got going with Francis. It's a heartbreaking thing for me because my entire life I have respected boxing. And to find out that boxing is fake, I don't mean that the decision was corrupted. You cannot be a real sport. You cannot, by any means, be a real sport. This is the second time I've seen the best in the world in boxing, the absolute best in their prime in boxing, get beaten up by a guy with zero experience.
Those are the words of Cheal Sonnen. And my counterpunch to Cheal, this is my counter, is you're saying that boxing is not a real sport. Like UFC hasn't had a lot of bad calls. We've seen bad calls in a lot of places. UFC too. UFC is a blueprint sport, okay? It's a copied sport of boxing, okay? The rounds, the weight classes, the judges, you know, it's definitely spawned from boxing. So to say, oh, well, I can't believe that this happened like that is bullshit. You know, let's face it. And Cheal is biased because Cheal is a former UFC fighter. Okay, he talks about boxing and boxers every chance that he gets. But let me tell you something. Is he warranted? Of course he is in this situation, based on the topic, based on what happened, based on the fact that Tyson Fury was supposed to be a straight shooter and he didn't come forth and admit that he lost. But then who really is going to do that? You know what I mean? I think Cheal Sonnen really did not understand Tyson Fury, okay? And I do agree with Cheal, though. I think Tyson was put in a situation that he's never been in, okay? And a lot of people now, I hope you guys are going to start listening to me. I'm pretty sure you are now. I'm getting all types of messages. Kurt, you were right. Usyk would beat him. Okay, but this doesn't have anything to do with Usyk. I just think Usyk will beat him based on other things, not raw power that Francis Ngannou had. Okay, so I have to address that real quick. Back to Sonnen. This is expected, okay? And this is the shit that makes these UFC guys come forth, okay? But this is what you can and should expect. That's what you should expect. But him saying boxing is not a real sport, it's not really a jab at Tyson Fury per se. He's just a poster child of someone that's supposed to did his fucking job but couldn't. Okay, because he was put on a pedestal. He shouldn't have, he had no business being in there with Francis Ngannou. But since he tried, karma slapped him right on his ass. Just like that left hook Francis Ngannou put on him. Okay? And it just shows you when you underestimate a fighter for one, when you think it's a cherry pick and an easy money grab for two, you know, and that's what you get when you don't stay in your lane. You know what I mean? When you try to copy what another guy's done. Floyd and Al Heyman, right, can only do those type of things. There can only be one original. It's already been done. It just hasn't been done in the heavyweight division. In fact, Muhammad Ali did that with the Japanese wrestler. He was on his back half the time, you know what I mean? That type of shit. But seriously, a guy like Cheal Sonnen coming forth, 500,000 views in 10 hours. Yes, that shit's going viral. You know what I mean? It will be 1 million probably before the day's over of this guy, Cheal Sonnen, claiming that boxing is not a real sport based on corruption. Like UFC has never heard of it a day in their life. Please. Stop the bullshit. We've heard Cheal Sonnen. I've countered Cheal Sonnen a few times about the things he said about boxing. Okay? Absolutely. You know, but again, people, this is what you expect when you don't show up to show out. Like Tyson Fury obviously didn't. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Cheal Sonnen claiming that boxing is dead, boxing is fake. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!